Reptiles tend to lack that emotional capacity in a lot of ways. Generally, your reptile's mental capacity is fight or flight, it's pure survival. But there are some animals that slip through the cracks that really do give you kind of a little bit of an emotional bond. What's up, everybody? I'm Matt from Tye-Dyed Iguana, and today I want to talk about 5 pet lizards that are really good when it comes to emotional bonding. So we sell a lot of different lizards and snakes here at Tye-Dyed Iguana, and most all of them make really great pets. But when it comes to the emotional bond, that's something that's a little bit trickier with reptiles. Generally, when you're looking for an emotional bond, that's where you start looking at mammals, whether it be a dog, a cat, a ferret, some sort of rodent. So I want to go through a few of them that we have here at Tye-Dyed Iguana, and then mention a few that we don't have at Tye-Dyed Iguana, but still make great emotional bonds. All right, first we have our leopard gecko. So these are a ground-dwelling desert species. They do need a spot of humidity, but for the most part, you just keep them hot and dry. Full grown, they get 6 to 9 inches long, very handleable, but very personable. And that's where a lot of times you can find it to be a really good bonding lizard. So it's not so much that they wake up and say, hey, I can't wait to see you, but they're very receptive to you, and they do learn to recognize. So you can kind of see like how chill this guy is, just kind of hanging out. And the leopard gecko is one of those animals where if I worked with him or her every single day, that bond would begin to develop between the leopard gecko and myself. So if you're looking for a really good entry-level lizard that's low in cost, that has the capacity to bond with you, the leopard gecko is a solid first choice. The next species that is capable of bonding with its owner is the Savannah monitor. Now, we don't have any Savannah monitors in stock at Tye-Dyed Iguana right now, but they're a species we're very familiar with. In the monitor family, they're going to be one of the smaller monitors, maxing out at about 3 feet, so they will need a significant amount of room. Generally, with a Savannah monitor, you want a cage twice the monitor's length in each direction, so at least a 6 by 6 by 6. Something a little bit bigger would be better, especially because they like a body of water that they can fully submerge in. So think a kiddie pool or a small pond. But once you get past the care requirements of the Savannah monitor, I would say they are the gold standard when it comes to intelligence and emotional bonding. They're very smart, they recognize their owners, and they will either love you or hate you once they get to that point, and they'll be your best friend or your greatest enemy. Just kind of depends how that bond forms. Next, we have the bearded dragon. This is probably your #1 choice when you want a lizard that is calm, handleable, and has the capacity to build some sort of emotional bond. So this is a baby. This particular bearded dragon is less than 2 months old. Full grown, they get 18 to 24 inches. They eat a lot, that's what they're known for. Babies will put away 2 to 4 dozen crickets in one sitting, but as adults they eat significantly less. But where the beardy really shines from its competition is its ability to recognize and relate to you as basically a member of their family. So you can see how calm and kind of curious this guy is, how he's kind of looking around. Now, this particular bearded dragon, being a baby, has not yet had the opportunity to form that bond with an owner, but as they get older and they're with a single owner, that's something that you will most definitely see. It is very rare to have a bearded dragon that doesn't bond with its owner to some degree. And then we have the green iguana. Green iguanas, in my opinion, don't make necessarily a good pet, mostly because of the size requirements. Green iguanas are going to average 6 to 8 feet full grown. Now, that does include their tail. As a result, they need a very large enclosure, generally twice their length in each direction. So figure a green iguana is going to need an entire bedroom. You're looking at 12 by 12 by 12, 14 by 14 by 14. That height does sound a little extreme, but they are an arboreal lizard. They do like to climb. Green iguanas, however, are extremely intelligent, and when it comes to emotional bonding, in my opinion, they're one of the best. So if you can get past the extreme size and care requirement of a green iguana, that is a lizard that is sure to reward once you get it into your possession and you start really building that bond. Next, we have our blue-tongued skink. So the blue-tongued skink is very similar in demeanor to the bearded dragon. I would say that they can be a little more wiry at times than the beardy, but when it comes to bonding or emotional connection, these guys are very, very solid candidates. So the blue-tongued skink comes from Australia. They're like semi-tropical. You do need to keep the tank with a little bit of humidity, but not as humid as, say, like a crested gecko. Ground dwellers, omnivores, they live about 15 to 20 years. Definitely need at least a 40 breeder tank for these guys. And just because I like to rage bait a little bit, I'm gonna say that these guys do require UVB. If you know what I'm talking about, you'll know why that's a little bit of rage bait. Hotly debated topic in the industry, but this is a diurnal animal. They don't leave tie-dye without UVB. Once you've got all that under control, look how calm this guy is. Now granted, this is Bert. This is one of our party animals, so he does get a lot of handling. but this is not an uncommon demeanor or behavior for a blue-tongued skink. So if you want something nice and calm and curious that will bond with you and just kind of sit on your chest while you're watching a movie, the blue-tongued skink or the bearded dragon are the way to go. So these are just a few of the animals that we carry at Tye-Dyed Iguana that provide kind of an ultimate bonding experience. There are others that we didn't cover here, such as the crested gecko, which you could learn more about by stopping into Tye-Dye. But if you want to see any of these other lizards in person, be sure to come into Tye-Dyed Iguana and ask our staff to show you around. You can also check out our website. Our availability is updated every Thursday, and you can see what we have in stock and ready to go to a new home. If there's anything else we can do for you at Tye-Dyed Iguana, make sure to stop in or hit us on our socials. Thanks a lot. Again, Matt from Tye-Dyed Iguana, and we'll see you next time.